Okay, let's dive right in. To really understand our ghosts, we first have to walk through a landscape that's been deeply scarred by real, historical despair. Fayetteville has endured some massive natural disasters. We're talking about an 1880 tornado that completely leveled the south side of the public square, all the way to that historic 2009 ice storm that literally snapped thousands of acres of trees and plunged the whole city into darkness for weeks. Now, combine those natural disasters with unspeakable historical tragedies, like the 1930 Ghost Mountain well murders and the horrific 1971 Bassor family mass murders, and you're left with an incredibly dense imprint of residual energy. This isn't just folklore, folks. It's a grim landscape physically and emotionally shaped by its darkest days.
Gather round, because here is our walking itinerary for tonight. We'll start right in the heart of the University of Arkansas for campus ghosts and tunnels, head over to the Phantoms of the Square, uncover tragedies in the hollows, shine a light on the beasts of the Ozarks, and finally, look up into haunted hangars and skies. Let's get moving.
Stop number 1, campus ghosts and tunnels, the university's dark side.
Watch your step as we begin on campus. This is the place where long-term residents and University of Arkansas students are always sharing local ghost stories, just to stay awake during those late-night study sessions. Our first stop is right here, the Inn at Carnall Hall. It was originally built back in 1905 as the first women's dormitory in the state, and today, it is widely considered the city's absolute most active paranormal hotspot. The most famous resident here is the spirit of Ella Carnall. She was a beloved English professor who tragically died of typhoid fever. Now, eyewitnesses, we're talking guests, maintenance workers, you name it, report seeing a floating, completely headless woman in a vintage, billowing white ball gown gliding seamlessly through solid corridor walls. But it gets creepier. Guests frequently wake up in the middle of the night to find phantom bed indentations. Literally, their mattress and blankets sinking down at the foot of the bed, as if an invisible person has quietly sat down to watch them sleep. No way, right?
Just down Dixon Street from those late-night study sessions, we enter the haunted iron gates of Evergreen Cemetery. This place serves as a true gateway to local history, holding everyone from early pioneers to the victims of those violent 1971 Bassor family mass murders we mentioned earlier. As soon as you step onto these grounds after twilight, visitors report an immediate, heavy shift in barometric pressure. It just feels thick. You can hear faint, unexplainable whispering, voices shifting right between the headstones, and people regularly witness dense black shadows moving completely independently of the tree lines.
But, not every campus legend we're encountering tonight is supernatural. Sometimes, bizarre local legends haunt a city just as much as its actual ghosts. So let's bust 2 massive myths right here. First up, the rumors of a top-secret downtown tunnel network used for prohibition bootlegging or underground government labs. The reality? They're actually just massive 100-year-old Tanglewood stormwater drainage pipes. You can literally walk upright in them, which is exactly what fueled those secret passage rumors. And that brilliantly illustrates our second myth, the infamous birds aren't real conspiracy. That global internet phenomenon claiming the government replaced real birds with identical surveillance drones. Believe it or not, it started right here in 2017. A U of A student named Peter McIndo created it as a piece of satirical Gen Z performance art, specifically to mock how easily misinformation spreads.
So, as we leave the campus behind and move right into the center of the city, we have to ask ourselves, what happens when the harsh, early borderland justice of Fayetteville's 19th century settlement origins leaves a permanent, violent stain on the area?
Well, let's find out in Section 2, Phantoms of the Square, featuring the Courthouse Phantom.
We are now standing before the historic Washington County Courthouse. This landmark has a very grim history of early, violent legal retributions and notoriously harsh, freezing holding cells that definitely left behind a permanent imprint of negative energy. The staff here, they refer to the resident spirit simply as the Courthouse Phantom. Late-night workers and cleaning crews document the chilling, distinct sounds of heavy doors creaking open and slamming shut entirely on their own. As they walk the empty halls, they hear muffled whispered voices and phantom footsteps, and there's this intense, inescapable feeling of being watched from those old basement holding areas. Some folks even report solid black masses darting right between the structural pillars.
Stick close to the group now. If the well-lit city center holds this much dark energy, what exactly is waiting for us out in the remote, foggy hollows beyond the city limits?
Let's head into Section 3, Tragedies in the Hollows, exploring Ghost Mountain and the Tilly Willy Bridge.
Out here on the outskirts, the remote terrain and rugged hollows create the absolute perfect environment for paranormal sightings. Modern folklore seamlessly blends with terrible historical events to spawn legends of just absolute heartbreak. If you listen closely through the fog out at Ghost Mountain, legend says you can still hear the cries of a mother and her child. This haunting connects directly to a chilling 1930s tragedy. According to historians, a heavily intoxicated father threw his crying infant down a deep water well. When the desperate mother climbed down the rope to save her baby, the husband took an axe, deliberately severed the rope, and left them both to drown in the dark. Today, thrill seekers claim that during a full moon, the muffled, agonizing screams of the woman and the faint wailing of the baby echo right up from the ground. It is absolutely chilling.
A bit further down the hollow, we find the infamous Tilly Willy Bridge. Now, this location's eerie reputation is anchored by a really tragic 1970s car accident, where a mother lost control of her vehicle, plunging off the narrow structure and drowning herself and her children in the creek below. Today, thrill seekers come out here to perform a very specific ritual. You park on the bridge after midnight, turn off your engine and headlights, and just sit in the dark. Eventually, the internal cabin temperature drops dramatically and the windows heavily fog up. Then, according to local legend, small, wet, child-sized handprints slowly begin to form on the exterior glass, as if the drowning children are desperately trying to push their way inside your vehicle.
Go ahead and shine your flashlights into the tree line for a second, because believe it or not, ghosts are not the only things hiding out here in the dark. The deep Ozark woods are home to something much larger and honestly, far more aggressive.
Welcome to Section 4, Beasts of the Ozarks, the cryptids of the deep woods.
You see the rugged mountains, thick woods, and vast networks of limestone caves in northwest Arkansas completely fuel these legendary monster encounters that have terrified locals for generations. Eyewitnesses describe a wild roster of beasts. Folklore warns of the Arkansas Gauro, a mythical 20-foot-long reptilian beast with prominent tusks and a spiked tail, rumored to inhabit the hidden cave systems. Then there's the monster of Peter Bottom Hollow, an incredibly aggressive beast historically blamed for stalking the rural hollows and tearing apart local livestock. And on the more ethereal side, we have the Snowfoos, a legendary albino deer possessing feathery wings that allow it to just leap right into the treetops. But the most famous of all, that would be the Ozark Howler. Eyewitnesses swear up and down they've seen a massive, bear-sized creature with a shaggy black coat, a cat-like head, prominent horns, and glowing red eyes accompanied by this terrifying, unearthly cry. However, let's contrast these mythical beast accounts with modern-day wildlife for a second. A lot of experts believe that sightings of the howler are actually just misidentified, massive, regional black bears that naturally roam these dense Ozark woods. I mean, think about it. In the dark, a shaggy, bear-sized silhouette with eyes reflecting in your flashlight beam, that easily blurs the line between a biological black bear and a mythical monster.
For our final stop, we're leaving the woods behind. Section 5, Haunted Hangars and Skies. Look up! We're heading toward the Drake Field Airport now, stepping right inside the Arkansas Air and Military Museum. It's housed in an all-wood World War II-era hangar, and the artifacts here exhibit some shocking residual poltergeist activity. Museum officials actually once watched the physical wing of a 1920s Laird Swallow biplane dramatically drop 3 to 4 inches and then spring right back up, just as if someone heavy had leaned on it, with literally nobody around. There's also intelligent interaction going on. A caterer once claimed she was being pestered by the spirit of a little boy who was furious about yellow paint being brought into a specific back office. And get this, it turned out a staff member had locked a fresh can of yellow paint inside that exact private office earlier that morning.
This historic hangar is also home to its very own spectral aviator. Eyewitnesses describe seeing a completely solid-looking man wearing a pilot's hat, a medium blue jacket, and dress shoes, silently browsing the research library shelves. One time, when a former official asked if he needed help, he completely vanished instantly, right before her eyes. Local researchers and museum staff widely believe this spirit is Ray Ellis, a notable Arkansas native and aviator who's just still keeping an eye on his planes.
And hey, if you step outside the hangar and look up into the skies above Fayetteville, you'll discover a rich, strange history of UFOs.
This stretches all the way back to the Great Mass Sighting of August 1965, where a silver object with lighted windows drew an immediate investigation by the U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book. And it hasn't stopped. More recently, residents have logged everything from fast-moving green streaks in the 2010s to massive, silent, low-flying triangular crafts the size of several football fields reported in the 2020s. There's always something watching from above.
Well, folks, as our Midnight Explainer tour comes to a close, we are left with one chilling final thought to carry home through the dark. From the headless phantom at the inn to the child-sized handprints at Tilly Willy Bridge, when a city is built on layers of tragic history, secret drainage tunnels, and a rugged, cryptid-filled wilderness, is it any wonder the past refuses to stay buried? Thank you so much for walking with me tonight. The tour is officially over, but as you head home, keep an eye on your rearview mirror. You've got to wonder what else might be waiting for you in the shadows of Fayetteville. Stay safe out there.